Well, good morning, everybody. How is everybody on this morning? I'm back. back in the saddle live and ready to go. Good morning. It's time for Morning Manna. And I want to talk about the power of your 2024 story. Your 2024 story. That's what we want to talk about on this morning. It's kind of a connection with the word that I ministered on yesterday. Love for you to get that message. Make sure that you go out on New Life and get that message. Watch it. I'm sure it will bless you. I'm going to greet some folk and then get into the word on this morning. Yes, I am back. Took the Christmas week off with your permission. I asked you all, and you said, okay, Bishop, take it off. So I took it off. How about that? And how was your week? How was your week? I want to see that, hear that, put it in the chat area. And we are at the end of the year. We're at the end of the year, 2 days from the new year. How about that? Good morning, Brother Joe, Deacon Joe. How are you? Angela, how are you? Brenda, how are you? Ramona, how are you? CC, how are you on this morning? Good morning, Vicky. How are you? Ori, how are you? Carolyn, how are you on this morning? Elder Mobley, how are you on this morning? Verena, how are you on this morning? Annette, how are you? Good to meet your mom on yesterday. That you a mini me, you know that. Annette, you are a mini me. It was good to meet her. I certainly hope that we see her again, and I hope that yesterday blessed her. I hope it blessed her on yesterday. Good morning, Brother Pope. How are you on this morning? Yvonne, how are you on this morning? Yes, it is good to be back, well rested. I hope. It's hard for me to rest. It's hard for me to rest. I have to work at. How do you work at resting? I have to work at resting. I do. Good morning, Anna. How are you on this morning? Elder Jan, how are you on this morning? Brother Nesbitt, how you doing on this morning? Pamela, how are you? Star, how are you? Lifting you up, of course. Diane, how are you on this morning? And said you had a peaceful time, Brother Joe. That's good. Pastor Leah, how are you on this morning? Yesterday, if you were at New Life on yesterday, if you watched, man, I certainly hope that you share that message. Go back and hear it again. I went back and of course I watched it as I typically do so that I can improve my sermon and ministry ability. You know, you got to watch. You got to have self-reflection. You know, it's not a done deal. As long as you're alive, you should be learning. How about that? As long as you're alive, you should be learning. But on top of that is this. I want you to make sure that you get, let me get it. There we go. There we go. Let me get it out of the bam. There it is. Okay. You want to get this. This is the devotional. And I'll have a QR code hopefully by tomorrow so that you can get it. Or you can just put your email address maybe in the chat area and we'll send it to you so you can print it out. As you already know, if you already know, we always at New Life have 30 days of prayer and consecration, 21 days of Daniel fast. And First Lady and I are going to be teaching on how you're going to just improve your prayer life and get what you want, the solutions. But the solutions, that's the year of 2025 for us, solutions. And as you can clearly see that we're talking about that Jesus Christ, he's the way, the truth, and the life. Nobody comes to the Father but by him. He is the solution. I don't care what it is, he's the solution, without a doubt. Jesus is the solution. So, to that end, make sure that you get this. Make sure that you get it. Want to make sure that you get it. And so you can be flowing because that's what we're going to do. That'll kick in on day one, Jan 1. That'll kick in on day one, Jan 1. And make sure that you get this. Good morning, Pastor Richard. How are you? Good morning, Laura. How are you? Good morning, Liz. How are you? You were missed yesterday, Liz. Good morning, Peggy. How are you? Fawn, how are you? Bev, how are you doing on this morning? Alvin Joyner, my homeboy. Yes, my homeboy. Can y'all shout out my homeboy? My homeboy, we go all the way back to high school. Go all the way back to high school. Play football and everything. He went in the army. I went in the Air Force and everything. And he's back at my hometown. I'm here in the Midwest. The Lord is using me here in the Midwest. But I want to just shout you out, Al. Good, Big Al. It's a good deal. Lottie, how are you on this morning? Hey, let me get to it. I'm doing all this talking. Your story, the power of your 2024 story, the power of your 2024 story. The text to talk, the takeaway, 5 minutes less. Let's jump into it. The text is John 4:39. John 4:39. It's a part of the passage of the woman who is at the well, whom Jesus visits, the Samaritan woman. It is a part of the passage that we do not read that much, but it is important that you get it. Here it is. Many Samaritans from that town believed in him because of the woman's testimony. She said, "He told me all that I ever did." It's the context. You know the story, part of the story. You get a snippet of Jesus meeting the woman at the well. And when she's at the well, Jesus begins to share with her after getting over being taken aback that a Jew is talking to a Samaritan woman. And he lays the groundwork of who he is and what he can do. He mentions to her, he says to her, that you've already got and the one that you with ain't yours. We want to focus so much in on that sinful side. But clearly, she tells her testimony. She tells her story. And when she tells her story, notice what she says. He told me everything that I've ever did. Now, we didn't hear everything, but he told her everything. And he must have told her in such a manner that it was not judgmental, but deliverable. Now, here's the thing. She then tells her story. She tells her story. You have a story of 2024. And what is it? What is it? What is your story for 2024? Three things I want to share with you. Your story convinces people. It convinces people. It may have been good, bad, indifferent, or otherwise. Some of you have had some tough times. I know my pastor in Africa has had a tough year. But trust when I tell you, Pastor Richard, it convinces people who Jesus is, that he is the solution for their lives. Your story does that. Your story also, here's the second thing, converts people. It converts them because your story convicts them of their own situation. The power of your 2024 story. Here's the third thing I want you to get, and that it curates and creates a culture that sets the ground for Jesus. It does. It does. That's what happened. You already know it in the story. It tells you that. It says it clearly that she tells her story and the whole town comes to Christ. It creates a culture of accepting that Jesus is the solution for their lives. You better know your 2024 story may have been tough. It may have been rough, but tell it. Tell your story. It has power. That's your takeaway. Tell your story. Tell your story. I got more. I'm going to share more on tomorrow. You share this. The Lord be with you, his face shine upon you, and give you peace. See you tomorrow morning with more Morning Manna. God bless you. Bye now. Tell your story.